Humankind's true origin revealed in the cosmic code. The Great Deluge, the Great Flood, is one of the most mysterious and potentially ground-shifting moments in human history. Let's remember, before that, the atmosphere was different, the light on Earth was different, we had no rainbows. It's believed that the Great Floods that swept across the Earth swept away ancient civilizations and effectively acted as a restart point for the evolution of human society. And now a writer named Zecharia Sitchin thinks that he has discovered the full extent of the damage caused by the flood and what happened in the immediate aftermath, and he does not believe that human beings were the only players on Earth at that time in history. The Anunnaki's role in the Great Flood. The Eridu-Genesis, another term for the Great Deluge, is believed to have taken place about 2300 BC and has been described in numerous texts from this period and later years from all over the world. There are pieces of evidence of a cataclysmic flood from Asian, African, American, and European sources. Given that the evidence for this flood comes from such a wide array of cultures, it seems highly likely that the flood was a real incident rather than ancient myth-making. But despite the fact that it seems almost certain that the Great Deluge was a real event, piecing together the chronology regarding the event has proved itself to be an incredibly difficult task for historians and archaeologists. However, the writer, Zecharia Sitchin, has attempted to draw together various sources concerning the Great Flood in his book, The Cosmic Code, the sixth book of the Earth Chronicles. He believes that the story surrounding the Great Deluge has a good deal to do with a mysterious alien race called the Anunnaki. Sitchin writes that the Anunnaki first came to Earth with the intention of establishing a colony after the atmosphere of their planet Nibiru, Planet X, began to irrevocably erode. The settlers discovered gold in the waters of the Persian Gulf and began to extract it. Eventually, their gold mining operation would spread all over the earth, and after a series of battles and disputes concerning the workers in the gold mines, the Anunnaki decided to bring human beings into existence to work effectively as slaves. They were based in Edin, in Mesopotamia, what we call Eden. However, human beings proved more rebellious and independent than their alien masters believed that they would be, and tensions arising from this came to a head during the Ice Age. Human beings had enraged several high-ranking members of Anunnaki's society by interbreeding with Anunnaki females, and the descendants of these unions had been elevated to positions of political power. The aliens plotted to get rid of human beings at this point, but were unsure as to how to proceed. Therefore, when they realized that the passage of Nibiru into the proximity of Earth would trigger a cataclysmic tidal wave, they seized upon the opportunity to allow nature to take care of the troublesome human beings, and they believed that humanity would be wiped out entirely by the catastrophe. However, this plan did not come off perfectly. One of the Anunnaki informed a man, probably Noah, to build a ship before the flood devastated the earth, and also provided him and his family with the means to develop agricultural settlements once the water had dissipated. Following the flood, the majority of the Anunnaki departed from Earth and never returned again, although a few remained to help human beings re-establish civilization following the collapse of their great cities in the natural disaster. If Sitchin is correct in his assumptions, then his theory could explain a great deal of historical mysteries that have baffled historians and archaeologists for generations. All over the world, there are fabulous structures built by incredibly ancient people, which betray the use of technology far beyond the advancement that historians would expect given the building techniques of latter-day societies. It would make sense that these ancient monoliths were constructed using the advanced techniques of the Anunnaki prior to the flood, outshine those of later constructions that were built using the rudimentary knowledge. Interestingly, Zecharia Sitchin describes the accounts before and after the Great Flood in his book, The Cosmic Code, the sixth book of the Earth Chronicles. And you can find that on Amazon. Now, events before the deluge. 450,000 years ago, on Nibiru, a distant member of our solar system, life faces slow extinction as the planet's atmosphere erodes. Deposed by Anu, the ruler Alalu escapes in a spaceship and finds refuge on Earth. He discovers that Earth has gold that can be used to protect Nibiru's atmosphere. 445,000 years ago, led by Enki, a son of Anu, the Anunnaki land on Earth, establish Eridu, Earth Station 1, for extracting gold from the waters of the Persian Gulf. 430,000 years ago, Earth's climate mellows. More Anunnaki arrive on Earth, among them Enki's half-sister Ninhursag, who is the chief medical officer. 416,000 years ago, as gold production falters, Anu arrives on Earth with Enlil, the heir apparent, and it's decided to obtain the vital gold by mining it in southern Africa. Drawing lots, Enlil wins command of Earth mission. Enki is relegated to Africa. On departing Earth, Anu is challenged by Alalu's grandson. 400,000 years ago, 7 functional settlements in southern Mesopotamia, including Spaceport Sipar, Mission Control Center Nippur, Metallurgical Center Shuru Pak. The ores arrived by ships from Africa. The refined metal is sent aloft to orbiters managed by the Igigi, and that you can see what they are about 2 or 3 videos ago that I uploaded today. Then transferred the spaceships arriving periodically from Nibiru Planet X. 380,000 years ago, gaining the support of the Igigi, Alalu's grandson attempts to seize mastery over Earth. The Enlilites win the war of the Olden gods. 300,000 years ago, the Anunnaki toiled in the gold mines mutiny. Enki and Ninhursag create primitive workers through genetic manipulation of ape women. They take over the manual chores of the Anunnaki. Enlil raids the mines, brings the primitive workers to the Edin in Mesopotamia. Given the ability to procreate, Homo sapiens begins to multiply. 200,000 years ago, life on Earth regresses during a new glacial period. 100,000, climate warms again, and Anunnaki, the biblical Nephilim, to Enlil's growing annoyance, marry the daughters of man. 75,000 years ago, the accresation of Earth, a new ice age begins. Regressive types of man roam the Earth. Cro-Magnon man survives. 49,000 years ago, Enki and Ninhursag elevate humans of Anunnaki parentage to rule in Shurupak. Enlil is enraged, plots mankind's demise. 13,000, realizing that the passage of Nibiru in Earth's proximity will trigger an immense tidal wave, Enlil makes the Anunnaki swear to keep the impending calamity a secret from mankind. Events after the deluge. 11,000 BC, Enki breaks the oath, instructs Ziusudra, Noah, to build a submersible ship. The deluge sweeps over the Earth. The Anunnaki witness the destruction from their orbiting spacecraft. Enlil agrees to grant the remnants of mankind implements and seeds. Agriculture begins in the highlands. Enki domesticates animals. 10,500 BC, the descendants of Noah are allotted 3 regions. Ninurta, Enlil's foremost son, dams the mountains and drains the rivers to make Mesopotamia habitable. Enki reclaims the Nile Valley. The Sinai Peninsula is retained by the Anunnaki for a post-diluvial spaceport. A control center is established on Mount Moriah, the future Jerusalem. 9,780 BC, Ra, or Marduk, Enki's firstborn son, divides dominion over Egypt between Osiris and Seth. 9,330 BC, Seth seizes and dismembers Osiris, assumes sole rule over the Nile Valley of Egypt. 8,970 BC, Horus avenges his father Osiris by launching the first Pyramid War. Seth escapes to Asia, seizes the Sinai Peninsula and Canaan. 8670 BC. Opposed to the resulting control of all space facilities by Enki's descendants, the Enlilites launched the Second Pyramid War. The victorious Ninurta empties the Great Pyramid of its equipment. Ninhursag, the half-sister of Enki and Enlil, convenes a peace conference. The division of Earth is reaffirmed. Rule over Egypt transferred from the Ra-Marduk dynasty to that of Thoth, the Atlantean we know him as, Hermes Trismegistus. Heliopolis built as a substitute beacon city. 8500 BC, the Anunnaki established outposts at the gateway to the space facility. Jericho is one of them. 7400 BC, as the era of peace continues, the Anunnaki grant mankind new advances. The Neolithic period begins. Demigods rule over Egypt. 3800 BC, urban civilization begins in Sumer as the Anunnaki reestablish their olden cities, beginning with Eridu and Nippur. Anu comes to Earth for a pageantful visit. A new city, Uruk or Erech, is built in his honor. He makes its temple the abode for his beloved granddaughter, Inanna Ishtar. And this is on Better Reality. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.